What's up YouTube, Mr. Limesy here, and today we're going to be reviewing some of the Whirlwind changes that have been implemented. Now, this isn't a perfect review of it, this is just kind of a little bit of a rough review that we're kind of checking out and seeing, but it is something to go through and note because it is interesting. They did make a lot of changes, and I think it overall is going to be beneficial and better, but there is going to be, of course, some edge cases and things like that. So let's first dive into the cases right here. Quality of life improvements, Whirlwind. Players can now start a new Whirlwind or leave attack immediately after a Whirlwind ends. So that's good. Change the logic for determining how Whirlwind attacks occur. Whirlwind now incorporates IES from all equipment. Before it was just from your weapon there. The frames between each Whirlwind attack are equal to the attack frame of a basic attack for that character modified by IES. This is wrong. I am going to just say it. This is not correct. A correct statement. I think a lot of people are placing value on this piece right here, but this, I believe, is completely wrong. While dual wielding, the attack frames for each weapon will be average rounding up. Overall, Whirlwind attacks should be at least as fast as they were before. Slower weapons will attack notably faster. Added a new loot to queue, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's all of that stuff right there. The reason I say this is wrong is because a basic attack for the Barbarian is not 4 frames per attack. I'm pretty sure you cannot hit that no matter what. Maybe when you're like, you have Frenzy on or something, you can get to there. But your basic attack, as Warren says, maxes out at 9 frames per attack. So that would actually be terrible when you consider the fact that before Whirlwind had always the first two frame checks are on 4 frames and 8 frames. And then it's either 12 frames, 10 frames, 8, 6, or 4 between each hit check. So if it was only 9 frames per attack as the maximum, then all of these would be actually faster in LOD. So that would be worse. So it's confusing. Like I say, I don't believe that is a correct statement at all. And we can go through and show that, like, in LOD, let me just heal here and get my guys healed up. But in LOD, we can see right here, this character. And this guy is maxed out as if he had just like Grief Phase Blades, right? That's all he has right now is as if he had Grief Phase Blades. I just have the IES for these to be Grief. And so if we go to like the whole plains and just go Whirlwind some monsters, you can hear that's every 4 frames right there. So that's hitting on the 4 frames, which is as we know. And then if we take this over into D2R, I'll put on the same things and have the same exact stuff. Right? Also every 4 frames. So it looks like 4 frames is still going to be the maximum right there. Which once again doesn't line up with the logic of as fast as a basic attack. However, if we do slow everything down, and let's just take it to this right here. This is a 2-handed axe. Originally a 2-handed axe would be, where are we? The breakpoints. So it should be at 12 because we should be on the 0, right? So this should be at 12 frames per attack right here. So I'm just gonna grab this off really fast and put that on and remove all IES. We're just gonna go without IES for this. And if we take it out and do the same thing, oops. Tick, tick, tick. Right, that's 12 frames. Tick, tick, tick. And again, if we go over here and do the same thing, tick, tick. Tick, 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 tick. So again, that is going to be 10 frames. So it does look like it has sped it up a little bit because, again, this is the same weapon right here without any IAS whatsoever being used, actually, in either of the cases. And you do have the ability to then stack more IAS over here because now you can do something like, okay, I've got my High Lords on, and I have my 20 IS gloves, and I have a gold wrap. So that's 50 IS right there. Plus, this could be, a Breath of the Dying. And so that's going to be another, 32, 40, whatever, close enough, right? And then you can go out, and now you should be able to hit an even faster attack speed here. Tick, 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 tick. Because again, if we go to our sheet, we can get down to the 4 frames right there. So, like I say, I think overall, the big benefit is you're now going to be able, with all of your IAS, to really start hitting better frames. Because you're going to be able to stack IAS around rather than solely it just being on the weapon, and that was the only thing that you could do. Thus, you were always just kind of in this position of like, well, if I have a slow weapon, then I'm screwed, right? Like, that's it. I just have a slow weapon, and I can't swing very well, and that's it. Whereas now, if you have a slow weapon and you have some IAS, again, 20 IAS gloves, High Lord's Amulet, Gold Wrap, whatever else IAS you want to get from whatever other pieces, boom, all of a sudden you can start hitting better frames with these items, and it'll get you in a better spot. And again, we already saw it's already hitting a little faster with no IAS. It's already at the 10. I don't exactly know what the formula is because it is not what they said, but that's something to at least note right there, is that it is faster just at a general sense. Now, where it's going to be worse is if you were already using like dual griefs, right? You were already at this fastest breakpoint and already hitting your -4 or your 4 frames. So that wasn't going to change at all. And that's not going to change at all. And so you're still just going to be hitting the 4. You can get the IS from other places, but you don't need it because the griefs already give you the max IS that you needed on those phase blades anyways. So it kind of just becomes like, all right, that doesn't really help in any case. And now you actually lose a little bit of damage because you're going to lose damage from... You would say you could get other stuff, but like I say, grief already gives you all the IS you need. So it doesn't change. But at level 26 and up, it's actually going to be worse for this skill. You're actually going to be getting less and less damage for the more skills that you have around that. You're saying the 4th frame hits twice now instead of once? Does it actually? Where does it say that? For dual wielding, while doing the attack frame for each weapon will be average rounding up. I don't see anything about that. And maybe that's just a thing. Go to bug fixes. Oh, okay. Fixing issue would apply properties and damage from a broken weapon. So that is now fixed. Fixing issue where first attack was treated different from the rest. When dual wielding, the first attack will choose 2 targets, just like all other attacks. Okay. Gotcha. So that's nice. And then there's also these right here. Whirlwind, improve the skill at lower levels. Starting damage increased from -50 to +30. That's huge for level 30. Now you can maybe actually go into Whirlwind and it not be the worst thing ever. You also get a starting attack rating boost, just to have a little base boost right there. I'm not sure if that's 50%. That would be my assumption. So all of that is nice. And then, of course, this is the damage per level reduced from +8 to +5. So this is the, when you start getting higher, it's going to be a little bit less in the high levels. But does this maybe now bring Whirlwind into a better place as you're leveling up and moving up? I like to say yes. I would say this does. I think that is a lot of benefit right there to maybe make Whirlwind not terrible to play with on a playthrough when you don't have elite gear. At the same time, getting to add in all of that IES from other gear, I think is also going to be a big benefit, because that was a huge problem. You start out, you're level 30, 35, whatever. You're trying to Whirlwind. You have negative damage on it. You have no starting good attack rating boost. Your attack rating is suffering. Your weapon is slow and doesn't have good IES on it, and none of the other IES you have helps it. Any of that stuff. So I think overall this has a lot of benefit to make it better for the playthrough of the game. And then, we'll just kind of have to see how it does play out in the later stages. It seems like it doesn't change a lot, honestly, besides maybe allowing some of those slower weapons to gain a little bit more value. That would be my biggest thought, is that, now you can maybe shift and have some slightly different character, weapons and stuff that maybe were a little slower, because you can get that IES from that other gear, beef it up, and get it down to those 4 frames, which is really where you want to be, the 4, maybe the 6 or something. But, you just don't want to be in this 14, 12, 10 range. It's just way too slow, just not enough hits. So being able to get these things down to these sections, I think really will help out. I think this could help the IK set a little bit as well, just that sort of stuff. And yeah, so these are all the changes there for Whirlwind. I like it. Overall, I think it's going to be good. I think there's more testing and stuff to be done as you play through the game and try the different stuff and all of that. I'll probably do a Whirlwind guide to play through. But for now, I am very happy with it, and I think, hey, this is definitely a move in the right direction, because I always thought Whirlwind was so trash to start. This being one of the biggest reasons. So brutal. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, YouTube. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Any further testing? Any thoughts on what actually is happening in this? How they're actually calculating it now? Who knows? All I know is it's time to go feed the moo girl. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.